It's Dave from Iron Blackbird Cycles. As you can see, this is wore out. The one on the back side was wore out. We already pulled it off. This I put new shoes on, repinned them, both front and back, and we're going to be ready to start putting those on so we can get this back in the motor out in the other shop. And if these are still in the bike, you're going to have a special pin to remove these, but being as we pulled the whole cam chest out, all we got to do is have a pair of snap ring pliers. Pull that small snap ring off. Don't torque that too much or it won't go back on. And then it's as simple as that. And this is the long one that goes on the front. So it's going to go there. Make sure we're right here. Yep, that looks to be right. So this goes back down in this hole right here. And then that slides on there. That pops up in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in this to hold it in place. You can get these on Amazon. They're just pins that you can pull out. There's a hole right here in this cam chest made for locking this back. And I hope, may not be able to do this by hand, but I hope I can. These are fun, let me tell you. I'm going to go ahead and pop that snap ring back in so we don't have to fight that in case it wants to come up on us. Because I may have to get something that has a little more grabbiness to it to put that back on. You want to make sure these snap rings pop down in the groove. Because you don't want that snap ring coming off and getting down into your sump area. I'm trying to figure out if there's an easier way for me to do this without having to put too much pressure on it. If you grab one of these with a pair of pliers like this, you want to make sure that you've got the plier jaw on both sides of this. Don't press on one because you'll ruin this thing. And don't press on the plastic. See, it's sliding into that other jaw. We don't want that. Make sure we're still good and tight there. There we go. And then that's going to hold that, see? That'll hold that right in place until we get this slid on the back on the crankshaft. And one of the cams is rolled out of this thing on us, so we're going to get that back in. As much as I hate to say it, there we go. And these didn't come out of chain, so they're still timed. So we're good there. Of course, there's the old one. All chewed up, gone. Harley's shitty frickin' design. And as bad as I hate to say it, I'm probably gonna have to press this cam out with the press over here in order to get this one on. We're gonna have to preset all that and then put the cams back in. Unfortunately, from 2020, 99 to 2007, 2006, these cams press in on this side. This one will drop out. This one presses in. And in order to remove those two cams to do anything, and I'm going to try to do it and still, but I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to try to loosen this cam up, maybe try to slide it out of the chain and slide it up out of the way where I can get that piece in. There we go. Now this may be a real pain in the ass to get back in there in time, but it's either that or we got to press the cam out, one of the other. So lay that chain down the same direction it goes back on, because those are directional and you don't want to flip the direction on those. And we should be able to possibly get that back together now. And it looks like we're not, of course. I'm probably going to have to press that cam out. This is a dumbass design. I don't know why they did come up with something better in 07. They come up with hydraulic cams, so that was that much better, but Jesus Christ. What a pain in the ass just to put in those tensioners. And of course, it's not going to allow it, so I press that cam out. There's a snap ring on this side of the cam. It's only on the one cam. The other one just goes in and it'll get, it'll be held in by the sprocket when you bolt the sprocket back in. These are good snap ring pliers, and I don't know why they're having a tough time with this snap ring. Can't believe that thing didn't go flying. Lay this down the direction it went off in, because one side has got a real sharp edge, and that's what locks in. The other side does not. So I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to put this in the press and press that cam out and get it out of our way so we can get this job done. So in order to get this oil pump out, in order to put this in the press, the oil pump is going to be in the way. So we're going to pull this oil pump for now. It's going to have to be loosened up anyway for when we reset all the oil pump into the engine, because we have to turn the engine a few times to reset this oil pump so that it's not under any kind of weird pressures and causes oil pump failure and crankshaft failure and all that good jazz. So we would have had to do this anyway. When I pulled this out of this engine, we didn't realize those adjusters were bad till I got it pulled out, and then otherwise I would have just pulled the cam plate, left the oil pump in place, but we still would have had to reset everything. So it doesn't matter one way or the other, it all has to be readjusted. Okay, we should be able to press this cam out now. I'll move the camera so you guys can watch that. After 2006, these cams are not pressed in like this. You can and they press right out. You want to put your hand under here and hold that cam. You don't want that cam to hit the floor. What hit the floor was that mandrel, which I don't care about that. But you just don't want this cam hitting the floor. Okay, now that we got the cam out of the way and all that chain and everything, there's a hole right here. That stem is for this. That has to go back on. And now we got to take snap ring, put it back on. You make sure that snap ring goes down and locks in. And I watch the other side lock in, but we check it anyway. Check the back of the snap ring. Now that's back together. Now, these two hooks right here, the other pin I got is going to go into that access hole right there. We got to pull this around and lock that in before we can put the cams back in. Try to pull this around. I don't know, you might not be able to see me do this, just for the simple fact it's I'm getting in the way of everything. Okay, so now as you can see, I got this pin holding that one back. I got that pin holding that one back. Now we get to press this cam back in. So I'll move the camera and take you back over to the press. It's kind of tough to do. You're gonna notice two marks on those cams. Those two marks need to be lined up before you start to press this cam in. It's going to be real tough to line that chain up and get it back on unless you put those two cams in together. Now I want to get it lined up. I want to make sure both cam timing marks are there. Make sure I didn't get a tooth off somewhere. And they are lined up. Now this is the tricky part, because you got to get from here, get it lined up in the press, and able to make sure that you press this cam back in and this doesn't come apart and slip a tooth on you. So let me get the press set up, get this in the press, and ready to go. Well, it's kind of a weird angle for you, but I'm going to have to release the press a little more. And set that mandrel back on it. I had the one cam slip on me there, so we're gonna take the pressure off of it and reline everything up, make sure we're good. Okay. I know that mandrel's not perfect, but we're already pressed in 75% of the way. As soon as you feel that get stiff, stop. You don't want to drive this thing through that cam plate. You just want it until it hits, and you'll feel it. You'll know exactly when it's hit its spot. And if you get this off and you can't get the snap ring back in here, then you'll know you didn't get the cam pressed far enough. But we're good right here. You should also be able to find some timing marks on the shaft as well. one right there and one right there. So here we are with the cam plate. We still got the pins in the two tensioners, and we're going to leave those pins in those tensioners until we drop this cam plate in. We can't leave the back one in. We'll be taking the back one out, but the bottom one will be leaving it in until we get the cam chain and stuff on the front. That way we don't have to fight it again. Now, one thing I need to mention, you saw me put that pin in on this side earlier just to hold that back so we get those cams in. The reason I did that, so we get it in the press without an issue. Once you get out of the press, you got to take a screwdriver and slide in there just to hold it. Then you pull that pin and you put it in from this side, and then you leave it there. Don't run it all the way through, just enough to hold those two jaws. The reason being is, if there's tension on this cam chain, when you go to install these cams back into the engine, this one or the other one is not going to line up, and you won't get it to line up. I'm telling you, do it this way. Then you can slide everything together nice and easy. Then you pull the two pins after it's all in and together. Anyway, Dave from Iron Blackbird Cycles. Don't forget to like and subscribe.